A 73-year-old disabled veteran rolled into a supermarket for a $23 grocery run and crawled out humiliated. What he didn't know was that 300 bikers were about to shut the entire store down for him. The nightmare began when Robert Chun, both legs lost to a landmine in Vietnam, realized at checkout that he'd forgotten his wallet. He apologized softly, explaining he lived only 2 miles away, and the young cashier, Amy, smiled and said he could go home and return. But then the store manager arrived, Stephen Walsh, a man who loved power more than people. He glared at Robert like he was a criminal. No money, no food, Walsh barked. Robert tried to explain. He came every week. Customers offered to pay. Amy offered to pay. Walsh refused all of it. Then he said the words that froze the entire store. If you really need this food, prove your disability. Get out of that wheelchair and walk. Robert whispered, I don't have legs. Walsh stepped closer. Then crawl. The entire supermarket went silent as a decorated veteran lowered himself out of his wheelchair and dragged his body across the dirty floor. Because humiliation was the only way a cruel manager would let him eat. People watched crying, horrified, afraid to intervene. Walsh filmed the entire thing, laughing. Robert crawled 15 feet, then 20, then 30, until a teenage boy named Marcus ran forward, shaking, holding out $40. Sir, please stop. My dad died in Iraq. You don't have to do this. Walsh grabbed Marcus and had him dragged out of the store. Robert kept crawling until he collapsed near the exit. I fought for this country. I lost my legs for this country, he sobbed. And now I have to crawl for food? Walsh stared down coldly. You earned your groceries, he said, then had security drag Robert outside and toss his prosthetic legs onto the pavement like trash. But Walsh made one mistake. A biker named Tommy was inside the store. He saw everything, filmed everything, and sent the video to the Iron Brotherhood Motorcycle Club. Jake, the club president, watched the footage and felt something snap inside him. How long ago? Jake asked. 40 minutes, Tommy replied. Walsh is still bragging. Jake made one call. Emergency. Veteran down. Bring everyone. Within 20 minutes, the rumble of engines filled the night. 50 bikers arrived. Then 100. Then 200. Then 300. 300 bikers surrounded the supermarket like an army of chrome and thunder. Jake knelt beside Robert outside, lifted him gently back into his wheelchair, and whispered, Sir, with your permission, we'll take it from here. Please, no violence, Robert begged. No violence, Jake promised. Just justice. Then 300 bikers walked inside in silent formation. Customers froze. Employees backed away. Walsh tried to order them out. Nobody listened. Jake walked straight into the manager's office. Stephen Walsh? Walsh turned pale. We're closed, he stammered. No, Jake said, but you're about to be. 200 bikers blocked every exit. 100 more lined the aisles. Walsh tried to call the police. His phone mysteriously had no signal. What do you want? He sputtered. An apology, Jake said, to the veteran you forced to crawl like a dog. Walsh scoffed, until Jake played the video, Walsh laughing while filming Robert's humiliation. In 30 seconds, Jake said, this goes to every news station unless you walk outside and apologize like a man. Walsh's face drained of color. The video was already viral. He had no escape. He was escorted outside where Robert waited. Cameras everywhere. Reporters already arriving. I apologize for any misunderstanding, Walsh muttered. Not good enough, Jake growled. Tell him what you did. Walsh swallowed. I made you crawl to prove your disability, and I was wrong. Robert looked up at him. Why did you do it? Walsh said nothing. Because he'd enjoyed the power. Because cruelty made him feel strong. Did you look at my prosthetic legs? Robert asked softly. My license plates? My wheelchair? Walsh had no answer, and the world was watching. Jake turned to the cameras. This man humiliated a veteran who sacrificed everything for this country. Until he's fired, and this store apologizes publicly, we're not moving. For 3 straight hours, 300 bikers shut the supermarket down. Corporate executives called in a panic. Walsh was immediately terminated. But Robert had one more request. Promote the cashier, Amy. She tried to help. She's only 19, the district manager said, and she has more compassion than anyone here, Robert replied. Amy was promoted on the spot. Her first act as manager, she bought Robert's groceries herself and delivered them to his home. Marcus, the teenage boy who tried to stop the humiliation, was made an honorary member of the Iron Brotherhood. They later paid for his college. Stephen Walsh tried to sue. The viral video ended his career. He now works in fast food. As for Robert, the next time he entered that store, 300 bikers escorted him. Customers applauded. Amy cried. And the world never forgot what happened to that 73-year-old veteran who crawled because a cruel manager demanded it. Sometimes justice comes not from courts, but from people with the backbone to stand up. And sometimes the loudest message is delivered by 300 motorcycles refusing to move until dignity is restored. Robert may have lost his legs, but he gained something stronger, a brotherhood willing to go to war for him. And Stephen Walsh learned a lesson he'll remember forever. Never make a veteran crawl, unless you're ready for an army to rise.